All right, I told you we're going to do an inspection, so we have this big device here. Dylan, tell us what this thing is and what exactly we're going to do here, man.
Yeah, so pretty much this is, I got a little camera screen right here. You've got about 100 feet of cable with a camera head on the end. This one's nice because it pan and tilts, so I can kind of move it side to side, really see what's going on. So pretty much what I do is run this camera head down the accessible clean out, and I'm taking it and running it all the way out to the street, and I'm kind of watching on my live feed here. Sometimes it can be hard with the sun. I'll do it at home, but pretty much what I'm doing is watching the footage, recording it, and then watching the footage, checking for any kind of damage, any anomalies in the line that might need to be addressed. So
cool, gotcha.
Get started here.
So for people that don't quite understand, this is where all the doo-doo, everything that goes out of down the drain and through the toilet, the shower, it all goes through here. Is that right?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So you have all your drain lines in your home for your toilets, your sinks, all that kind of stuff. They come out to the main right here, and then you got one pipe going out to the street, and that's where it's going to take it off to the city connection and off, and no longer your problem. So
great. So this is kind of like, in medical terms, this is like a colonoscopy for the drain, right?
Exactly. Exactly. So let's see here. Okay, so.
And that has a light at the end of it, obviously.
Yes, so it's got a light, so you can see. Like I said, it can be a little hard sometimes in the sun.
Yeah, I get that.
So a lot of times with these, I'll take it home.
So common things, what top 3, top 4 things that you're looking for here?
So top 3, top 4 things I'm looking for is if it's a clay line or any type of line actually, is I'm looking for an offset. So pretty much where the two pipes come together, what can happen is, particularly with clay, because it's in 4-foot sections, is they won't be lined up anymore and there'll be offsets, so that water, one is kind of going out of the pipe, but also it's just because you have that lip there, it's just prone to catching debris, all that kind of stuff.
And what type of lateral material is this? Are you able
so
to
this, let's take a look here. So it's looking like, it's hard to tell with the sun, it's either gonna, looks like it's clay from what I can see. So yeah, so pretty much what I'm doing is I'm running it all the way to the city connection. Usually it's not any more than about 100 feet or so.
All right, cool. And you would be able to see any root intrusion from
Yes, exactly. Let's see here. Yeah, so here, if you can see it, so you see that clay right there, and you see the connection, you see how it's not quite lined up anymore. So again, that one's not too bad, and it's not as bad when it gets offset that down because that water is still flowing. It's when, you know, the one in front of it offsets, because then it's catching on that lip.
Okay, that makes sense. And this is telling you your distance.
Yes, exactly. Right. So this is great. So this tells me, this is my foot counter. This tells me, you know, it's 38 feet down the line from here. I also do keep a locator on me that there's a locator in that head, so you can track down if you find an anomaly. Those locators, it can be hard depending on how deep it is. Sometimes it won't pick it up. But between this and the locator, you can kind of get a good idea on where that anomaly is at.
Cool.
So,
what's the craziest thing you found stuck in a drain?
Ooh, trying to think. Yeah, I haven't found anything too crazy yet. I've definitely come across a lot of clogged. I mean, it's pretty crazy actually, you know, how damaged. People don't realize how damaged your line can be before you really even know it. Yeah. So a lot of people think, oh yeah, you know, won't get a sewer lateral because they think, oh, well, a home inspector should figure that out during a home inspection. Yeah. That is not the case at all. Usually, I tell people, the only way you're gonna tell is when you got poop water coming up your tub. I mean, that's when you know, and by then it's kind of too late. You know, there's not really any other way to know that you have damage unless you're doing some kind of investigative inspection such as this. So yeah, so far this line hasn't been too bad. My head's been going through pretty easy. You know, it's clay, but it's in pretty decent shape. I haven't seen any root intrusions yet from what I can see.
Awesome. Getting there, 60 feet.
Yeah, let's see. Level this out.
It's like the movie Inner Space. Who were the actors in that one? Where he has that little robot that was flying around inside the guy's body? Wasn't it, not Randy Quaid, what was the guy's name?
See, so you can see
okay.
right there,
Action right
you got a little root intrusion right there. So
look at that. Get that on video.
yeah, so, and I'm recording this as well, but you can see right there, you see how you got a little bit of water buildup?
Yep.
Right there on the head, and then you can see the root intrusion right there. So in this case, it looks like it's right at a joint, which it's good from the standpoint of, you know, right at that connection, it's a little gap. So that's where the roots want to make their way in and get that nutrients. You know, they're looking for that water, that nutrients to grow. So that's, I mean, you don't want any root intrusion, but what that means is it's getting through at the crack. Now, if it's in the middle of a 4-foot section, then that means it's damaged, obviously, because it's damaged that line and come in. So usually in a case like this is one of those things where, and a lot of people will do this in San Luis, is if they don't want to replace their whole line, that's just something periodically they'll have someone come and snake and clear out those roots. Now, obviously, you know, it's an imperfection in the line, but it's such a small one, you could get by maybe every 6 months, a year, you know, just snaking that line out.
And the snake, is it, don't they use like a water jet, or is it also?
Yeah, like, so they're used two. There's a water jet, and then they're using actual like pulley snake to actually get stuff out of there.
Cool.
Oh no, they're pretty, because you also have to account for the downhill slope, you know what I mean? So it's, let's see, right? That looks like we're right at the connection.
That is so cool, it rotates around.
Oh yeah, no, the pan and tilts the, so you can see right there, that's the city connection.
Okay.
So right there, it's kind of hard to see in the video, but you can see where you got the pipe teeing in. So it's coming in and then it's going horizontal. So now it's dove into the city connection. And so now, you know, the responsibility's off you. Now it's at the city connection and that's on the city.
Cool.
So
we hit pay dirt. That's pretty wild.
Yeah.
Pretty wild.
So yeah, overall, this was when I would say it was in fairly good shape for being clay. So that's the thing with clay is, you know, clay, obviously it's not as ideal as ABS or PVC, but it's still not an awful material. You know, it's a little brittle. The big one I tell clients is the Orangeburg. That's one, you know, with cast iron, with clay, there's a lot of things you can do to kind of keep milking that life out of it. Orangeburg, once it starts to collapse and deteriorate, it's done. It's only going to get worse from there. And this is one of those things with the sewer lateral, you don't want to wait until you got to back up. That's a nasty, awful mess that you don't want to be dealing with. So it's not like certain things like, oh, my furnace is old, I'll wait till it breaks. Yeah. This isn't something you do that with.
Man,
so.
All right. Well, hey, the more you know, right?
Yeah.
Hey, I appreciate it. We'll see you on another one pretty soon, Dylan. Appreciate the information.
Yeah, thank you.
Awesome.